Are you ready to see a stamping technique that you have never ever seen before? Well, at least I had never seen it before. I had never tried this before, and I'm very excited to show you something fun in our crafty video today. I'm Brandy from brandystamps.com, and this is an episode of the Great American Stampin Show, which is a competition. And it's very important that you watch my video and each of my competitors, whose links can be found in my description below. And then just give the thumbs up or the like to whoever's video that you like the best. And I'm hoping it's going to be mine because I have something really cool to show you. Last time our winner was Julie, so congratulations to Julie, but I am coming for you this time because I am so excited about this card. What we do is we turn to page 22 in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. So here's our catalog. When you open it up to page 22, you're gonna see all of these cool layouts here at the bottom. And the one that we're doing this time is right here. You guys ready to see what we're doing? Let's go. Here is a closer little look at that layout that I am supposed to be copying. This is my assignment. Will I be able to conquer it? I think I can do this, you guys. The first thing I was thinking when I saw this was big image here. And so I pulled out a stamp that I actually hadn't used before. It's called Graceful Deer. This is a whole background stamp. And I love this image. I think it's so beautiful. Let me show you how it looks out mounted on its block. It is this big, and it actually goes in the horizontal or the landscape direction. And so one of the first things I did is rotate this layout this way, which I feel like is allowed because in the catalog, all 22 of the layouts go vertically, and that just doesn't make sense. Not every card you make is gonna go vertically. You gotta do some both ways. So I'm going to stick this right here so that we have it in our frame the whole time and we can see what we are trying to make. So let's get some of these background pieces done first, and then we can work on our cool technique. I'm using a Pecan Pie cardstock base. This is just 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to give it a really nice crease with my bone folder, and boom, there is my card base. Now for this little tag that comes down, once I had my deer image on here, I really wanted something small because I didn't want to cover up any of the cool deer stuff. So what I've cut out is this little guy, and I have to absolutely enthusiastically recommend these Greetings of the Season dies. This is a bundle that came out in our online exclusives not too long ago. The stamp set may not have caught your attention, and so perhaps you overlooked the dies as well. But these are amazing dies. This is one of those times when I only ordered the die set. I didn't get the stamps, but this piece right here, it goes right there in the set. And so it's one of the ones that comes with it. And I have had a great time using these dies. So I'd recommend that. All of the supplies I'm using today are listed in my description, so you can just click to order from there or see the list of supplies I used. So I've cut out this tag right here from early Espresso cardstock, and I wanted to hang down kind of like this. It didn't have the banner end, but it's got these cute little notches, so I figured that would work. And I went through my Christmas stamp sets to see what I might have that would be kind of a smaller greeting. And so what I picked is this Peaceful Season set. It's got this little guy right here that just says peace and joy, which I think, gosh, what else are we wishing people at the holiday season if not just peace and joy? So I actually love that greeting. And I'm going to emboss so that I can get, you know, a nice stark look on this brown cardstock. So I'm stamping peace and joy kind of right here in my Versamark ink. I'm of course pulling in my tray to do the embossing powder just so I can catch the extra. And I am using my white embossing powder. Get the extra in there. Time to heat this up. I'm cutting like 10 or 11 inches of just my linen thread. I wanted to give it a little bit of a bow, but nothing real dramatic. So I'm going to tie this right above the words peace and joy, Just want quite a small little bow, I think, right up there. And the other thing I'm going to do right above the ribbon that I have tied here is I'm going to score right above there so I can just fold it right over the card. So let me grab just my basic ruler here to help me get a straight line. I don't know, I mean, I want it just kind of right above the bow. I love the deer image so much. I didn't want too much in there trying to come and cover it. So let's see how that worked. We just made a little score line with the point of the bone folder. And now we will fold that, and we can see that it would easily wrap around the edge of a cardstock. So now we know we have the other pieces ready. We've got our background piece already, that's this. And we have got our tag for right here ready, that is this. So now we're ready to just focus on this main layer, which will be our deer. So let's put this out of the way. Okay, anytime I am using one of these big giant background stamps, I like to pull out my F block. There is rarely any other time that you need the F in huge block, but that is how you can remember. They've called it F for a reason. And we are going to use it with early espresso ink. So I'm sliding my pad open, keeping it in my hand here and bringing it to the stamp this way. This is a nice way to ink it because I can see rubber side up. I can tell when I've got everything coated nicely with my early espresso. Next, you'll want to pick this up, get your paper centered here where you're going to be stamping, and just try to get a hold of it by the corners. I'm just laying it down and pressing all over. Now let's see what we got. So we get kind of a lighter and darker like shading going on the deer here. And loving these aspen trees. My husband's from Wyoming. They have tons of aspen up where his parents live. So that's what this reminds me of. And I'm super excited to work with these deer and get them all beautiful. I'm pulling out a few of my Stampin' blends. I've got the crumb cake ones, light and dark. These ones I use just like constantly. And then this is my light real red. And when I saw this little bird chilling up here in the winter time, I thought, okay, I'm gonna turn him red because that's kind of cute and Christmassy. I'm not 100% sure if he was meant to be a cardinal, but I painted him red. And now I'm going to hop on the deer here and just give him a little bit of the dark crumb cake. Of course, the Stampin' blends can do a lot of beautiful shading, but I didn't use them that way on the deer. I just kind of colored in all three of the deer with my dark crumb cake, and I just let the shading on the stamp be the thing to kind of give it that texture. And now I'm going to hop over here with my light crumb cake and just lay a little color on the aspen trees. I didn't want them to stay dead white. I want them to contrast with my snow. But I am doing it really loosely because these aspen trees, they have kind of a white bark and it always looks a little bit peely, like it's kind of peeling off of the trees. So I want to sort of retain that look. Okay, I'm also going to hit the antlers while I'm here. I wanted to give them just a little bit of color. The next thing I want to do is do a little bit of masking. So I'm pulling in just a scrap piece of paper. This is from my printer. This is out of just the basic printer paper that I have. And I didn't even re-ink this. I'm just going to stamp it again. I know I can get the basic images there. And I'm going to use my paper snips just to cut out the top part of these two deer. So here's what I've got. I didn't worry about cutting out the part at the bottom, but I've cut around the top part of both of these upper deer. My goal is to stamp some snow here without getting snow onto my little deer images. So I want just a little bit of very temporary adhesive on here. So one thing you can do is just tiny dots of this liquid glue. And now the goal is to get this to dry up pretty fast. I'm going to use my fingertip to spread it around so that all that's left is kind of a tacky. Okay, once we've got those dried a little bit, we can just lay these little shadow deer over the top of our real deer. And like that. Okay, I'm bringing in my balmy blue ink pad now. I'm going to do a little bit of stamping and a little bit of sponging. So I've got one of my blending brushes and I have this little smattering of snow stamp. This is actually from my Snowy Wonder stamp set. I'm just going to ink it up with my little dots, and I'm going to let some snow fall all around the deer here. Okay, and I'm bringing in a couple, this is just more scraps of my copy paper. I'm going to create a little kind of column right here in between my trees so I can do some snow in that space. See that? Didn't that work nice? I can do that in a couple of the larger spaces. Do it right here as well. Okay, the other thing I want to do is add a little bit of sponging. I'm going to go with a very light hand here. So I'm getting a little bit of blue on my sponge, getting some of the darkest part off on my scratch paper, and then I'll just come in and I'm mostly just going to focus on the edge of my scene. Okay, let's reveal our deer and see how we did here. Okay, oh, that's looking so fun. Now, are you guys ready for the awesome different part? Literally something I've never tried before. Okay, so it all starts with this product, and this is the Enamel Effects. This is our Pearlized Enamel Effects Basics, and it has black, red, and white. We're going to use it to make some snow today. This has a very little fine tip on the end here. And one of the ways that I have used this before is to go around and just do drops on a project. It creates a look that's actually very similar to some of our little adhesive dots that you can get. And so that's something to keep in mind as long as you have time to set it aside and let it dry. That's kind of a fun way to use this. But today I tried something different and I loved it. So let's get some to use, just kind of spread out on that scratch paper. And now I pulled this paintbrush just out of my collection. I don't know, it was just in a little drawer in my house. So this is a pretty basic paintbrush. I'm going to tap into my snow here and just start dabbing it. I want it to look kind of rough and imperfect here on the surface of this scene. Okay, let's see if I can get it up here enough so you guys can see kind of, there's a little bit of texture from my brush daubing where that snow is just kind of tapped onto the surface there. I'm setting aside my brush now, and that was pretty easy just to rinse out and clean later. So I think this is a water soluble type of a product. I'm now going to bring the bottle back in and use it to do actual streaks. I'm just going to mimic the lines that are already here. So right below each of my kind of brown lines here and there, I'm just gonna swoop in some lines of snow. You don't want them to be too thick. You want them to be able to dry quick enough. I live in Utah, so things dry really quickly, but if you're not, it might need like a good half hour to sit aside and dry. But you can, like, if you lay down a line that's too thick, you can go back over it without squeezing and just kind of spread it a little bit. That was really easy to do. And I found that this was really fun and easy to work with. This is so much fun to do. You almost have to like remind yourself to stop because, well, at some point enough is enough. But let's recap our little pearlized white and let's hold this up so hopefully we can get a really good view of this. The texture on this is just absolutely stunning. It's so fun. And to finish off this card, it was just so super simple. All I did is take a few glue dots and sandwich this right around up here, sitting right on that edge. And then it's going to go onto my card base just with a handful of dimensionals on the back. And then as I was looking at this, how it was going to be as I placed it down, I decided to add a little strip of red glimmer paper behind here. See that? I haven't made a card without the festive glimmer paper for weeks, so I don't know, I might be obsessed. But it really ties in that little cardinal, which looks so cute. So I'm going to adhere this just about 1.25 inches down from the top, just using a mini glue dot at each end. Now we'll look and see just where we want this and place it right on there, and that is our finished product. And how do you think we did following the template? So here's our template. I don't know, sometimes we stick really close with these templates, but sometimes we wander a little, and I was proud of myself for sticking right with it. And I'm so happy I pulled out a stamp set that I hadn't used before. I am sending all the love and appreciation to you for watching my video today. It was so fun to stamp with you. Hope you enjoyed this fun, different kind of a card today, and I hope you gave it your vote by clicking like. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss any of the fun crafting videos, and make sure you click and subscribe to my email list as well. Right now you can receive the 12 weeks of Christmas tutorials from the Great American Stampin Show girls. We send those out once a week, free Christmas cards every single week. So just click and join the email list, and I'll see you there. See you next time.